Topics and Realities, a 2-hour debate program on Royal FM.
Royal FM.
That is out to X-rail and brainstorm on issues affecting our society with the aim of bringing change. Topics and Realities.
Every Saturday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m.
on Royal FM.
Topics and Realities, a weekly program brought to you by the English desk of Royal FM.
Royal FM.
Topics and Realities.
Topics and Realities.
Topics and Realities.
The gateway to change.
Good afternoon, good people. Welcome to Topics and Realities, your Saturday talk show program over Royal 88.4 FM. It is the last Saturday for the month of March, and we shall be receiving the national president of the Popular Action Party, PAP, as our guest for this month. And with him, we are going to be talking about politics in Cameroon to the Popular Action Party. And just to tell you that the team keeping you company this afternoon is made up of Carol Prudence 20, who is our copyright clerks, Ronald Kumesa sound plus video editor on our Facebook page, Royal FM Cameroon. Topics and Realities is a production of Royal FM with editorial coaching coming from Jean Patient. Coordination is done by our own station manager Bertrand Wuna. General supervision is ensured by Reverend Pastor Emmanuel Nobisai. Call me the moderator. I am the son of Donkey. My name is Abel Bela Samari. I will be right back.
Nelson Mandela, le modèle, l'ami des petits pays. Yeah, Omega c'est moi. Je ne veux pas la politique, 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 je ne veux pas la politique. C'est pas bon, c'est pas bon, c'est pas bon, c'est pas bon, c'est pas bon. C'est pas bon, c'est pas bon, c'est pas bon. Omega c'est moi. Je ne veux pas la politique. 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 Vite ma famille, il y a plusieurs mètres d'eau dans les rues de ma peine. Plusieurs tonnes de goût dans le flot de mes veines. Je ne veux pas la politique. Roger Mille, je ne veux pas la politique. Amamique, et si dodi, 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 et si dodi. Mukoko Mbonjo Pété, Bonivan de Yaoundé, c'est bien, Luc Nové le parrain. Je ne veux pas la politique. Je ne fais pas la politique, Nassima pour la politique. Je ne fais pas la politique, mon ami. Je ne fais pas la politique. Ndinga George, Bamenda Boy. Tout le monde, levez, levez. Tout le monde, levez, levez. Ça va encore chauffer. Bamenda Boy, Ndinga George. Chauffer les fesses. C'est non. Levez, levez. Levez, levez, levez. Levez, levez, levez. Levez, levez, levez. Levez les mains. Levez les mains. Levez les pieds. Levez les pieds. Levez les pieds. Levez les pieds. Allez, Joker, toujours en cravate. Est-ce que vous aimez? Tout le monde les met en l'air. Sur la piste des petits pays, number one mondial. Baissez la tête. Baissez la tête. Baissez la tête. Baissez la tête. Eh bah, et les gars c'est tropical. À la manière de Jibo. Karim, le Jibo c'est le modèle. Je t'avais dit. Eh bah, tournez les reins. Tournez les reins. Tournez les reins. Tournez les reins. Tournez le dos. Tournez le dos. Tournez le dos. Tournez le dos. La tête. Tournez la tête. Tournez la tête. Tournez la tête. Tournez la tête. Collez, collez. Collez, collez. Papa, maman. Maman, papa. L'opposition et le gouvernement unis. Mettez-vous ensemble comme Jacques Chirac et Jospin à Paris pour aider vos pays. Ah oui. Allez dire. C'est le Jibo d'Afrique, le neveu de Jésus. Allez dire. Le prophète. La tête.
If you are just tuning in, the program is Topics and Realities coming to you from Royal 88.4 FM. And thank you very much, Romel Ekume, for that piece of music. You said it is composed by Petit Pays, Adolphe Claude Mundi, and Je ne fais pas la politique. Thank you very much. Je ne fais pas la politique. But we are going to be talking about politics in today's edition of the program. We are going to discover if really Cameroonians should engage themselves into politics, or they should adhere to what the music is saying, that they should not do politics. And with us this afternoon in the studio, we have Susan Nanyonge. Good afternoon to you, Susan.
Good afternoon, Abel. Good afternoon to all the panelists. Good afternoon to all Real FM listeners.
You are welcome to Topics and Realities. Susan, today you are going to play the role of a secretary. Whatever thing the president of the National Popular Action Party will say that you think that can be written down in popular opinion, you are going to note it down at the end of the program today, because he's our guest for the month of March. Yeah. You are going to review his own notes so that whatever thing he says today they can be used against him or for his own benefits. Okay. When it comes to that, you are a journalist working here at Royal FM. You are in charge of the press review. The press review for the morning is ready?
It's very ready.
Thank you very much. And equally with us, this studio is to give honor to women, and that is why we begin with her, the ladies before the gentlemen. And with me in the studio this afternoon is also a gentleman of the press. We are still talking about the press, and he is Etienne Menjo, and he will be the questioner of today. He will be doing most of the questioning. He will be the one to be X-raying and asking a lot of questions this afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Etienne.
Good afternoon, Abel. Good afternoon to all the listeners of Real FM. It's another day.
Yeah, it's another month.
Another month.
We were together last month.
Yes.
And today we are still together.
Of course, I want to, first of all, thank God for making it possible for us to see this day. And definitely, it's going to be a promising show. And I believe that our listeners are going to enjoy our program.
And Etienne Menjo, you work for the Post newspaper.
Yes, I do.
How is the Post newspaper faring?
The Post newspaper is doing fine. At least it's a bi-weekly newspaper that is, trying to be the independent newspaper at the service of the people.
And I hope everything is ready. The questions are ready.
Everything is ready.
To be pushing on. That is Etienne Menjo, our questioner for today, and I'm just going to be the moderator. And with us in the studio equally, we have the president or the national president, put it that way, of the Popular Action Party, Mr. Njang Denis, who is here with us this afternoon. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon to the fellow panelists. Ladies, or lady and gentlemen, and good afternoon to your technician on the other side. Good afternoon to your listeners of Royal FM. I'm very happy and I'm pleased to be here. This is, I can say, is our house. I'm not new here, even if I am not very regular here, but I always have my guys here. So it's a pleasure to be here in person today to share my own little view and throw more light on issues that will be raised today. Thank you.
Thank you very much for honoring our invitation to be part of this program and maybe to talk about a lot of issues. We are going to be looking at your educational life. We are going to be looking at your political life equally. And we are going to be talking about contemporary issues of the month of March. A lot have happened in this nation, and we'll be getting your own point of view when it comes to the governance policy, when it comes to the management policy, when it comes to the decision making of some of those issues. If you were in that places, what are some of the decisions you are going to take? And equally, we are going to be talking about politics in Cameroon. A lot of people don't know. Maybe you'll be telling us if it is an enterprise to make quick money, or just a pressure group that we have, because we have a lot of political parties in Cameroon. All that we are going to be discussing, and equally we are going to be having questions that will be coming from our listeners. A lot of them will be wanting to know a lot of things from you, maybe from your party, maybe from certain decisions, and maybe your vision that you have as a politician for Cameroon. And our access code this afternoon is 655 543-457, 655-543-457. We equally have 671-157321, 671-157321. We equally have a WhatsApp number where you can easily send your voice note. If you think that you can just record and send us a voice note, it will be played and your question will be answered. We have 675-595284. If you put the Cameroon code, you are going to have the WhatsApp number 675-595284. Now, Etienne Menjo, I will begin with the first question, and that is we are going to be looking at the educational life of Mr. Njang Denis, and maybe the biography also. But I want to ask you the question. We always hear of Mr. Njang Denis, National President of the Popular Action Party. Who is Mr. Njang Denis?
Well, Mr. Njang Denis is the... I hail from Manu. That is my division of origin, but I grew up mostly in Moyoka and Limbe, where I had my primary and secondary education, and I attended JHS Limbe. I had my advanced level before proceeding to University of Yaoundé 2, where I obtained my degree in private law in precisely 2007. So since then, I have been very active in the political life, in the day-to-day political life in Cameroon. I don't know if I'll go straight away to talk more about my political career. If
maybe you tell us some of the degrees that you have
apart from my law degree. I started being a teacher also. I've been teaching history and philosophy in so many secondary schools around, and I decided to fully involve in promoting education, where I manage an educational institution, which I happen to be the proprietor of that educational institution. So since then, that is where I have been mostly focusing my time and putting a lot of effort and initiative to ensure that the educational standard in Cameroon should be raised at a particular level based on my own ideology. So I think that is what I have been throughout as far as my educational career is concerned. I haven't gotten any other diploma except attending conferences, seminars that at the end we are awarded with a certificate of attendance and all the like. But apart from that, that's where I am a degree holder in law. That's my educational background.
Okay, thank you very much. Before we get into your political career, I'd just like to find out, how is your country waxing on as of this present point in time?
Yes, it is a very pertinent question. You can realize that PAP and myself, we have been very, very active in going out, communiques, carrying out sensitization campaigns with the multiple crises that we have been facing. Our country, since 38 years to 39 years of Mr. Biya at the helm, has been a catastrophe. But I don't want to go right to start giving details, but let us discuss on the pertinent issues now. The situation that we are facing as of now, the country is really deteriorating. It is at a stage of collapse. The country is everything except we call a country, and that is why at the level of the PAP, we are with my team. We are working hard that whenever things turn to normalcy, we need to rebuild and revamp a new Cameroon. For the past, since independence, since the inception of independence, Cameroon has never been a country except an area where everybody, both the national and international community, it has been a source of personal interest, egoism, manipulations, and we are where we are today because of a fake call that a fake background or a fake root. That is, the country was the root, the manner in which the country was built was not, the foundation was not deeply rooted, and today we are only seeing the consequences of the poor foundation that was built as far as the country Cameroon is concerned. So whatever we are facing today, the multiple crises, I don't know where I will start. The Anglophone crisis, the hijack of the institutions by an individual, the poor electoral system that we have, and the multiple diaspora issues. So there are so many. I think as time unfolds, we are going to really diagnose and see how we could seek a solution to that, because the PAP is working in diverse level to see that all those issues are brought into
now
on board.
Yeah, talking about your political career, you are the national president of the Popular Action Party, the PAP party. I want us to tell us, before becoming a member of the National Popular Action Party, the PAP, were you a member of any other party?
Yes, I was a sympathizer of the SDF. I was one of those.
When you say sympathizer, what?
I was a sympathizer because I admired.
Yes, you did not carry
I did not carry a membership card. I never had a membership card, but I really sympathized and I bought the dream of the SDF.
So we cannot say that you were a militant.
Yeah, I was not really a militant, but I was really sympathizing until I was almost like a quasi-militant because I was very active in most of SDF rallies. And in 2004 presidential election, I was one of those who represented SDF in one of the polling stations as a representative. And since right to 2007, I have been very, very active with SDF in SDF rallies and seminars. I've always been very, very active, but I've never had a membership. I was just a sympathizer. Not until 2008 when Justice Aya took that bold step. That's when I started seeing that, wow, there is someone, an Anglophone that we can really count on. And I think that is if at all I want to adhere to any political party.
So at first there was no other political party?
No, there was normally, I was really buying the ideology of the SDF. I love Jastan, especially with the dynamism of the national chairman of the SDF, Njang Denis. By then I followed him. But when that bold step was taken by Justice Aya Paul in 2008, refusing to rectify the modification of the constitution to remove the presidential term limit, and again a member of the CPDM, I've been before then, since I studied law, I've been studying Justice Aya. Most of his outings, not even his outing, most of his decisions at a level of his judicial decisions, we use it as a case study in most of our when writing, we use it as a case study in our defense. So I've been admiring him as a judge, and again as a politician I say, wow, this man is not only limited at the level of the judge as a judge, but as a politician is worth noting. So when he took that decision in 2008, and little did I know, I started admiring him. And little did I know that he would create his own political party, and not even creating, he would adhere to a political party, because it would be overstatement that he never created the PAP. So he adhered and upgraded by then we call the People's Action Party. And in 2011, I was a member but not very active. So after 2013, I'm not very active because I was here but we were communicating. I said, I am here in Yaoundé, you people need to bring the party over here in Yaoundé. I will not be able to come down here, so that some of us in Yaoundé, we can also be part of that party. So in 2014, I fully bought my membership card. So I was communicating with the then Secretary General by then, Akosong Raymond. So by 2014, I was officially installed here in Yaoundé as the Yaoundé 5 president. Yes, as Yaoundé 5 president. 2015, I was upgraded to the Fundi president, and in that same late 2015, 2016, I was elevated to the National Organizing Secretary. That is the fourth in command of the PAP. And in after the arrest, or let me say after the abduction of Justice Aya and his illegal detention, when he was released, I was still militating as a National Organizing Secretary. In fact, I was the one almost running everything but they were along of the party, because most of the militants, those who were my superior in the party, like the Secretary General, the Vice President, most of them, they ran away and they saw that their lives were in danger, and the disease from being public, carrying out public activities, political public activities. So I could brace all odds with what I saw, and I said, no, this is not the time that our national president should be kept and we all fold our arms. So I need to mobilize my troops, and we're very active in the field since 2017 right up to date. I have been very, very active. Little did I know that after the resignation of Justice Aya, the National Council sat in 2019, precisely in July, and they voted me as the new president. So since 2019 right up to date, I've been the national president of the PAP.
Mr. President, before I asked you or how you became a militant of PAP, first of all, I want to find out from you, as you grew up as a child, an ambitious child, did you have any idea of one day becoming a politician?
Yes, for those who actually knew me when we were still very young, at the secondary school, the days of my secondary school days, most of my classmates, they knew that even within the level of my area where I grew, those who knew me, they actually saw in me someone who will really be involved in politics, because I was always I am someone that always like to know the truth. I always quest to know the truth. I always dig to know the truth. I'm someone that you can't just tell me something and I fold my arms and I take it. I must want to investigate and know where the author of that statement, where the beginning of that initiative, how it all came about. I'm always someone who's always at the level of the how, the where, and when. I'm always questioning. So I'm always, even at the level of when I was still in secondary school, I was always involved in debate. We had the debate club. I went to comprehensive. I went to JHS Limbe. I was always involved in debate clubs. So I'm someone that always loved debate. I'm someone that I love competition as far as ideologies, exchange of ideologies are concerned. So it is part of me. And even in my family, they know that. So it is something that is inborn in me, that I just grew up like that, and I just had passion for it. And when an opportunity like this came where I could militate, I think I said, well, that's the best area where I feel that I could really express my sense of humor.
So what exactly pushed you into politics?
Yes, what exactly pushed me into politics, first of all, is a passion. I have 3 things that I grew up with that I have passion for.
Yes.
Football.
Yes.
I'm a former footballer. Yeah, that's football, sports. That's it. That's what I'm saying. I said yes. I had 3 things that I had passion for.
Yes.
That I'm ready. I've always been ready, and I'm still ready to always invest my time on. We have football. You have education. I love to listen to intellectuals. I love someone who expresses himself, who has a mastery of what he is capable to give to the society. And then I love politics. So it's already a passion in me, and right up to date, I am still in that 3 domain where I still invest all my time and my resources. So first of all, there is that passion where I love, and then secondly, I was one of the best history students in my school, and when the area where I always love when it comes to history is the political history. I always love. You should realize that even when my teachers, whenever they are correcting scripts, where I know I will excel, even when I was writing the advanced level and other level, the political areas are always my best area, because I love people who create impact, who are role models as far as nation building is concerned. So one of my greatest admirer that I always admire in the world is Nelson Mandela. I followed especially the apartheid history. I said, wow, this is a man that could do something. I think if I could be for this if I could one day be copy this person's example, I always admire people like the Kwame Nkrumah. So I always admire those great guys, those political leaders, and I love, right from childhood, I really love what they stood for. I mean, what they believe on, and at the end, we saw that the results. So from there I got that impression that it is good to really stand for what you believe on, because what you believe on, at the end, truth will always prevail. Always learn to leave a legacy. That's what I've always learned. Always leave something that people will always remember of, that this man was this person was this. Don't always be a passive person. Always be a participant and not a spectator in our day-to-day society. Be at the level of our community, family, our organization, always be a participant. See how you can contribute to at your own particular level, especially at the area where you feel you can best offer. So it is a passion in me, and as I earlier said, I always love politics, and I admire great politicians, what they have actually done in Africa, the world, and even in Cameroon here. I had politicians who have been my role model. I just talk of Justice Aya, Frundi. From the beginning, Frundi was also my role model, but unfortunately not the Frundi that I know again today. But the Frundi in the 90s, those are people that really inspired me to say, wow, I could still do something. I think I have seen in people the role model that I want to be. So you recently said you are a sympathizer of the SDF. I was,
and you almost. What stopped you from joining this SDF when you love their ideologies, and equally, what pushed you to become a PAP member? I
think the PAP, as I earlier said, I was already an admirer, because while in school, I was already an admirer to Justice Ayapo. And again, I grew up in Muyuka, where I was always hearing of Justice Aya, especially
around
his charitable.
Those who live Boya in general, Fako division in general.
And again, we have a cocoa. I grew because my grandfather has a very big cocoa farm in Munyenge, Likoko area. So whenever I go, I have a huge Akwaya community there. It's a huge Akwaya community. So I always hear of this Justice Aya when he comes. The euphoria in which he is welcome, he's so simple. Yes, I mean the way, and then so many testimonies of how he has been helping the sons and daughters from that area and other people that he just met. Because I have known the Aya, the Valentine, I had the orphanage since not only today, since when I was still growing up, Aya for assisting children and so forth. So his charity alone was already making a name. And then again, I admire that. I say, wow, this man, people were testifying. So many guys who come back from holidays, and most of them testify that, well, I am going to school with Aya Paul. And many children by then were born, by then were bearing the name Aya Paul, Aya Paul. And when he, as a Supreme Court judge, and since I had passion for law, I so admired him as a Supreme Court judge, as one of the best magistrates that Cameroon could ever offer. And then, coupled with my political passion again, he happens again to be a politician. So first of all, that admiration for the individual caught my attention to whatever that he would have ever loved to ever manage. So immediately when the idea of PAP came about, first it was not only the party first that I adhered to, it was that individual based on his ideology. I saw a man that I think this is another Mandela that we could have in Cameroon. So I saw a man, and then immediately when I read is manifesto of the PAP. I said, no, that is the
that is the manifesto I want to ask you. What is the manifestos of the PAP party? For those who are listening to you, if you want to become a member of the PAP party, what's their vision?
Ebe, before he answers that, yes, I just want to get from him, how is the party faring now?
I think the most consistent opposition party as of now is PAP. I mean, consistent. Since after the abduction of Justice Aya, it is true that it scared most of its sympathizers and members. Most of them became targets. Some of them are presently on exile. They have now, some of them have been radicalized. They are taking another stand, the secessionist stand, and many became so quiet, mute. So with my dynamism and the team that I mobilized, we continued despite all the odds, we break all the odds and we continued. So since 2017, I can tell you that we have been very, very consistent. I can tell you that the main consistent political party, opposition party now is the PAP, because they have been very, very consistent. We said no election in 2018, we won't take part if this Anglophone issue, and we took our stand. Many people said what? We said no. 2020 twin election, we had so many of our members that said no, we can still do it at the same zone. I had people in Douala 4, Douala 5 who say no, they want to run for PAP there in Douala, and others say no, we can stand in Boya, we should not go to Muyuka and Libya, we can go. I said no, that will be betraying our people, and we still stood our stand.
Mr. President, despite the stand, the country is still moving on.
And in almost all the challenges that the country is facing since then, yes, PAP has been very, very involved in attacking and criticizing and giving solutions to the government. Yes, it is unfortunate that we are met with a government that the government is by the government is for the government to the government by the military. The people are not involved, because if it's a government for the people,
the government is
the government.
Are you giving a different definition?
Yeah, that's the definition. No, that is democracy within the Cameroonian CPDM context. Government by the government for the government by the military.
What do you mean by that statement?
Mean that is their force.
Is that different? Is that
if there's anything, they don't bother about the population. Since the military is there, they have brainwashed the military. There was one time I made a communique and attacked the military. You are there to serve the people, not individuals. The individuals are politicians. They will come and go. Other politicians will come, but they shouldn't use you as their shield, as how do you call it, as a stepping stone to get into the population. Because a government that is already, I don't blame them, because this is totally an illegitimate government. It must always function that way. A government that has.
What do you mean by
they have no mandate?
You are a law student.
Yes,
you are illegal man. And you know what the law says? It is the government that were voted.
Yes, they were election. No, they were not voted.
Instituted by the Constitutional Council.
No, they were not voted. They were not voted. There's a difference between legality and legitimacy. The government could be legal based on their own constitution that Mr. Biya controls. But when it comes to legitimacy, we all know. that present government was never voted. Mr. Biya was never voted.
Can you justify that?
Yeah, I can justify it. He was never voted. Why was he never voted? Because we realized that whenever an election is contested,
was contested by who?
It was contested by his rival.
Did you run for the election?
Because
Did your party run for the election?
When we followed the issues that were unfolding at the level of the Constitutional Council, we saw another political party also brandishing proof to prove that they won the elections. So when such a situation always occur, when they brandish proof, and we saw the reaction when those proofs were proven at the level of the Constitutional, we saw the reaction of the Constitutional Council. We came to realize that there is a problem somewhere. That's the first thing. Secondly, you can never say you have a legitimacy when you are voted by. We have Kamuna, let me say 25 million. Let me say voting age could be 11 or 12 in a real democracy. And an station where someone who says he had more than 70-something% with just less than 2 million votes in the population of 25. Let us assume that yes, he was. So you call that a legitimate person? In Northwest and Southwest, I'm not the one that said it. The Constitutional Council and the Elecam testified. 15% vote took place. If they can testify, they themselves, this will tell you that if they can use the word 15%, it means that it should be 5. It means that less than 15% took part in the voting in Boya, in not the whole Southwest, and then 5% in the whole Northwest.
But we have the presidential majority system.
I am the president of the
We have the presidential majority system where if it is one person that wins the election.
That's why I use the statement that they could be legally put in place, but legitimately they are total, and that is why from their actions in the field tells you that they are not legitimate because they don't have they have no feeling for the population. Yes. The aspirations of the population is not their problem. The population can go to hell, and that's why CPDM people will only tell you that Lotam the presidency, Nepal Lotam the Pope. That's it. So his time is not the people's time. So no matter what the people say, it's his own time that decides. So it is a highly illegitimate government that I'm just coming to answer your question that why is it that issues still persist? It is because they are not there for the people. If there is a government for the people, these issues wouldn't have been discussed.
My problem was that your party took a stand that they will not go for elections. Yet elections were held and things continue to move. Don't you think that your party is the one losing?
Okay, good. I think there must always be a change of mentality. That is it. Because the Biya regime has made Cameroonians believe that everything about politics is election. The role of a politician is not only to take part in elections, irrespective of what, and that is what he has used that method systematically to kill the opposition. When the opposition want to say, they say, okay, I will come in. When they try to bring something that let's handle this, let us have a serene environment, a conducive environment that will accommodate everyone. And before going for election, to him, while there's disorder, whatever, election is elections is just one of the objective of a political party to take power. But now you don't just take power irrespective of when people are killed, when people are being killed. No, you will rule. Or when people are being displaced, more than 500-600 internally displaced, millions out of the country. The country is totally in chaos. This area, people are revendicating the electoral code. When those are in a real democracy, you say, wow, I think let us see, it is our country. Many people are disgruntled. The diaspora are chasing you away. You don't see that there's a problem. You go, you are a president, you go, the own diaspora don't want to see you. You sit that people down and say, let's talk. So when you are only interested in election, you use that election as a way to legitimize yourself in the eyes of both the national and international community. Because in a real democracy, when we say we withdrew, it was not as if we hated the election. It is because we wanted the world to see the dictatorial and the anti-democratic nature of under which this country is functioning, and that's why most opposition country in a real democracy, if an opposition is boycotting an election because of something, the incumbent or the president in place, for someone who really have the feeling of the people, because a political leader has following, and before he takes a decision, he must have consulted the population, his people, what they want, and when he present it, and when he refuse to listen, there's no need for you to say, I am going in for this because my population doesn't want. And for those who went, you saw the
other political parties.
Of course, and today, that is we never wanted to fall into that trap. If all of us would have boycotted, we'll allow him because we knew the game already. We knew that since this man is refusing this, these are issues that are affecting the population. He's rejecting. He will have proposed this, he's rejecting. And when we turn to our own population, everybody is saying about that thing must be handled. And if he's rejecting, there's no need going again because tomorrow he will use that as a weapon against us. So let us avoid, let us not be that. History will never judge PAP for the poor nature of Cameroon today. So we say no, we don't want to be part of that masquerade where our name will be wrongly written in the history of Cameroon. PAP boycotted almost all the issues, and today they are faced. We are now seeing what the situation in which we are today, and that's why you keep on. The country is at the brink of collapse because the government refused to listen. So we boycotting election. It is a measure. It's a major factor for a political leader who has proposed something and it has been rejected. Going for the election against the wishes of the people, which one do you want? I going for election, I'm hated by the population that will give me the mandate, or going for election to satisfy the person who wants to use you in that election to legitimize his stand. So that is, we knew the game, and that's why we decided to boycott.
Thank you. The Abel's question about the manifesto. What is the manifesto of the party?
We want to talk about, I don't know, it's a whole...
no, but just very brief.
Because he said,
I don't know where I was
just very briefly.
Mr. Njang Denis, you said that the role of a political party is not only to win election. Mm-hmm. That is what we have been...
I said not only to take part in elections. Yes.
But we know that every party, the first issue is to conquer power. And maybe to stay on power as long as they desire. Meaning that maybe you people in Popular Action Party have a different orientation.
Let me recall you. The Popular Action Party took part in the 2011 presidential election.
Yes.
Out of 23, our candidate was the fifth.
Yes.
2013 election.
We know that one.
We took part in the election, the twin election legislative, to tell you that it's not as if we have been boycotting elections.
Okay.
Now, during that period, even though things were not, the field was not.
So what is the mission statement of the Popular Action Party? The manifesto. Let's talk about it.
Okay, good. No,
give us a few points.
Okay, well, the manifesto generally.
What do you
anyway, let me. That's what I just want to say, because if I want to say step by step, I know it will take us a lot of time.
Yeah.
Because it's a voluminous.
Give us a summary.
Yes. In our manifesto, that is as for 2011, because that manifesto was written in 2011. But now there are many issues that we cannot really rely on that manifesto.
Okay.
Because as the events are unfolding, many issues we are trying to adapt based on the recent evolution of events. So as from that 2011, we are for pure federation. We are federation, and we have never changed that stand. Yeah. Even as of now, we are still clamoring for that.
We are federalists.
We are federalists.
People think that if federation comes into Cameroon,
yes, we are going to have and that is why we went even further to say we need to sit and revisit the 1961 Constitution. That is the genesis of the situation.
But we are talking about the 1996 Constitution.
No. There was no. If I want to start talk about 1996 Constitution, it means that I will legitimize the fake 1972 referendum. As I'm concerned, nothing like that ever occurred. I said 1961 Constitution. Any other thing that brought us to 1996 Constitution will only take us to where we are today. We need to revisit. That is the root cause. That's why we use the word. We address the root cause. We need to handle that. We are in our manifesto. The electoral code is our priority. We talk of 2-round votes. Yeah. We talk of 18 years. A minimum voting age. We talk of empowering ministers who will only be appointed after being vested from at the level of the Senate. Yes, to give legitimacy, where a minister will have a lot of legitimacy back there from his people. We talk of a complete independent judicial system where most of the magistrates will be a judicial council that will decide, not the president that appoints, decide to really empower, and then after that will be vested after on recommendation from the Senate. In fact, it is a very vast. I am telling you that if that our manifesto is put in place, Cameroon will be seen as one of the best democracies in the world.
Okay, since 2019 you took the Popular Action Party. What is the national implantation
Yes. As of now, that's one of the greatest things that I am very happy for that question. Because when the popular, it was a former name was called the People's Action Party.
Yeah.
The name was changed in 2016. Yeah, for strategic reasons. Yes. That is it. So since then, under my regime, we have done a lot. We have done a lot as far as trying to extend the ideology of the party at the level of the francophone area. I mean the French-speaking zones. It is true that in the days of Justice Aya, people knew of the People's Action Party, but their grounds were mostly felt. The party, the presence of the party was mostly felt, especially mostly in the northwest and southwest. In some parts, northwest and southwest. Yeah. But today we have shifted the ideology of the party right to at the level of the center, littoral, and west. As I speak to you now, my Secretary General is in the Grand North. Yes, in the Grand North, already carrying out sensitization campaign to really not really implant, to really sensitize people to adhere to the ideologies of the party. It's true that during the presidential election, Justice Aya really went to all those areas, but that was just, I think as of now, many things have changed. Yeah. 11 years to 2021, yeah. It's a different thing. Many people don't even think of any issue again. So we need to go back and revamp the ideologies of the people. Especially when the name changed from People's Action to Popular, people thought it was a different party, but we say no, it's the same party, we changed our name. So throughout that period, we have been doing a lot as far as sensitization and communication is concerned. And again, one other thing is since 2019, we have intensified communication. Okay. That's one of the forces that I can really appreciate my team. We have really intensified communication as far as really making use of the major media houses. I want to also thank you people of the media, because whenever you are always giving us that platform to always express our view. So we have been very, very active as far as communication is concerned, which was not really the case with in the past, because and again we have been able to really during my regime we have been able to really see how we could bring forces together, because I'm sure you asked me of our coalition alliances and all the like. Good. So we have been able to really bring alliances together. As I speak to you, my app, that is, I don't sleep in the night because of WhatsApp calls from the diaspora. Many people, I won't call their names, even die-hard separatists, who were first of all really interested in seeing how they could foster the assist the separatist movement. Later on, changing them, some of them now, some majority of them now are already trying from that position. I just said, do we think we can stand it? I said we are there. So okay, we think we are going to work in the days. Let's see how things are unfolding. And even ground, the ones fighting on the terrain, I communicate with them. There are people that I said, give me that. They have their WhatsApp group, and I said, whose contact is this? They say General this. I said, let me talk to General this. And when I listen to them, that's why I said the Cameroon government is.
So you think that the Popular Action Party is a measure?
Yes, we can do it if they will only give us the opportunity. We communicate with those die-hard generals of the Ambazonia who are fighting on the terrain. I communicate with them.
Do you ask them to put their guns down?
You ask them to drop their guns and maybe
drop their arms?
I think that is a wrong strategy to tell an angry person. It's a wrong strategy to tell him that drop your gun without you asking, first of all, looking on what let him hold that gun and what guarantee can you give him. Can you listen to his?
But we have the DDR center.
No, the DDR.
Transform some of these people.
You and I, we know what is happening there. On daily basis, they are on strike. They are already telling you that their working conditions. I'm telling you that if they allow those guys now to freely choose where they want to go, I'm sure most of them want to take back arms. If they tell them that, okay, you could choose, you want to be here or go back, they will tell that they want to go back and hold the arms. So you see that if they could come out and block the roads with all the military presence and they were not afraid, they should tell you that the level at which Bamenda and Boya, if they ask them that they should choose now willingly, that will you like to be here or to go back to the bush, they'll go back to the bush. They'll go back to the bushes. So I want to tell you that we of the Popular Action Party, we have done a lot what we call groundwork to bring everybody on board. We have got a lot of course sensitization. We are one of my guys that were kidnapped in Bafut, and when he identified himself, that is for PAP, he said show proof. The guy called. I said, okay, let me show you some images.
Are you not going to be tagged that you are one of those?
That is the government of Bia is using that neo-colonialist tactic in the days of the French, tagging the UPC. I cannot call my fellow brothers a political issue that the government refused to listen and give a political solution and decided to pick up arms. The separatists never pick up arms. The government started the issue of using arms on them. And what do you want to expect? They had to retaliate. So I am not on that school of thought where I want to attack fellow Cameroonians, disgruntled fellow Cameroonians, irrespective of what they must have gone. It is because we are facing two extremist camps. The government is taking an extremist stand. The other guys also said, okay, let us take another extremist stand. We are federalists. We are in the middle. So we are trying to see how we can bring the both warring fractions on board. Okay. And we communicate very well. And I think in the days ahead, in the years ahead, we are going to
now maybe Etienne Menjo, the last question under this the party.
Just to
I have a question I want to find out. I know you are the question.
Yeah.
But how do you people get your funding of your party? Because you talk about this, but you haven't tell us funding.
Yeah, even the Bible, they say the local parlance say, well, there is a way. When there is a way, there will always be a means.
There is an artist.
And when there is a will, there will be a means.
John Mina once sang it. When there is life, there is hope.
Yeah,
and when there is
life,
a way, there is
hope. I think
so. Is that what people capitalize on?
It is selfless sacrifice. It is selfless sacrifice. This is a big message that I'm trying. I think we are coming to a point where we start saying that do people get into politics for money? This selfless sacrifice, the love we have, the passion we have for humanity.
To change,
that's what we are doing.
To give Cameroon.
So we want to give the best of ourselves. The little that we have, I can bet you that I have some of my guys that go for communication at times. They even go and the luxury is not even there. They go to Douala, they spend days there in Douala. The little I could give, because if we want to evaluate what it takes to really go out, communicate, carry out sensitization campaign, and what they usually take along, it is just nothing.
Are you not receiving subvention from the government?
No, we don't receive subvention from the government. We never took part. When you take part in elections, when the new electoral year begins, and you are not there, you are already deprived from having that. So we don't take part in it. So I want to say that 80% of the finances of the party comes from my pocket. About 80.
You should be a very rich man.
does it mean that you are taking the party?
No, I use the statement that 70 to 80% of finances, and then we have other voluntary members who also accompany us. And I use the statement that there's what we call selfless sacrifice. I earlier made a statement here that I have passion for three things: politics, education, and even where I am operating as an institution that I operate, I can bet you that we have so many students there who are just there for free education. I guarantee free education to them.
I once did a report on that.
It's just a passion. It's just a passion. I don't feel that I have passion for it. It is true that behind that passion there's an ambition.
My mailbox is already full. It's in with a lot of questions. Maybe I don't know whether I can liquidate some before we move to the next stage. Or you still
very briefly, just to know from the president. Does your party have any alliance with other political parties? And beside that, other parties, do they run towards PAP?
What is your relationship with the CRM party and the stand up for Cameroon?
That is a good question. Even
to complete a tense question.
Okay, yeah. Even before the illegal detention of my predecessor Justice Aya, we were working on a platform. PAP came up with a platform. By then we had the AFP of Madame Ali Sajo, Madame CPP of Madame Kawala, the UDC of the late Dr. Adamu Damjoya. We came on that platform. We gave it all a Front Citoyen. It was called Front Citoyen. On that platform, it was a Republican pact that we were trying to build. Before even the Front Citoyen, there was Republican pact that we were trying to build. And in that Republican pact, we wanted to produce a single opposition candidate. So the issue that was between Justice Aya and either Adamu Damjoya or Job God were the heavyweights by then. So that's the first issue. After Republican pact, after the arrest of Justice Aya, I continued in that line. I joined the Front Citoyen, which was a citizens' front initiated again by Madame Kawala, some ladies. I don't know. There are some civil society movement and so on and so forth. We came into that. Later on, we now bought the ideology, especially with the stand-up movement, because they had a position that they took that really attracted our attention, and that position was that what they said no to election, yes to political transition. I would say, wow, just that slogan alone, it goes in line with our objective. most of our declaration, because we are saying no to election. There must be a political transition, because our wish always have Biya needs to step down. So when Maranka Wala came,
when you talk about the fact that Biya needs to step down,
no, by then no, we said we wanted him. I mean, now we are still clamoring for him to step down, because he's a shadow on his own. So we are still clamoring for that. We have not yet desist from that point.
Mr. President, are you not afraid of doing politics in Cameroon?
Which one will I answer?
No, go ahead. Just round up.
Just the fact that I'm talking now, and with all the pressure and intimidation and threats that PAP have suffered, and I'm still here, it's enough to prove that it's only they say a dead man is not afraid of being around the graveyard. So I want to say that we are in line with that. We have to stand up, and I'm telling you, I'm giving you reasons why we're not just joining coalition. Yeah. So when Professor Kamto and his CRM, they came to, they wrote because they wrote even when Professor Kamto was arrested together with his close aides, yes. We're giving a lot of declaration, we get a lot of support. I can tell you that CRM and PAP are very, very close allies, even before the arrest, and even after the arrest, we were still there. When that before the arrest, and even after the arrest, we have been keeping that close allies. Professor Kamto and Justice Aya, I can tell that Justice Aya was one of those that were there present for the foundation of the CRM. He worked hard to come out with the constitution of the CRM. So that the two leaders, my predecessor and Justice Aya and Professor Kamto, have been very. Even when Ayapo was arrested, illegally detained, Professor Kamto was one of those that actually. The volunteer guaranteed, so that political sympathy. So yes, to guarantee to stand as one of his lawyers. Okay. So even after the release of Ayapol and Professor Kamto, the CRM and PAP have been very close allies. That's why because they have almost one and the same ideology, and we have been working close. And even when I was my installation as a president, the Barrister Ndong was there. By the sustain Madam Medal report, the communication secretary by then, and we have been very, things have been, there's a free flow between the two parties. Okay. And we have paid regular visits to Professor Kamto, and he has paid regular visits. And so we have been having even closed door discussions and so on. So our ideologies are the same. And when the idea of that manifestation came, they wrote to us, and I responded. I said, wow, that's good. I think there's a need for us to do open manifestation. Let Cameroonians go on the street, because the institutions have been hijacked by an individual, and the only solution now is left for the people. The political leaders only pave a way, and the political leader is like an eye opener. We only create a way, pave a way for the population to see. The population see that this is the danger. It is their responsibility. In Mali, politicians opened the way. The population came in. Sudan, the same. In Egypt, in Burkina Faso, in most of those countries, the politicians were not the one that were on the street. They only created. So do you think that street protest is the only solution? That is the only solution for a dictator like Mr. Biya. He's a dictator. I said for a dictator like Mr. Biya. Okay, let me take some questions at 10 men, Joe, because the Maybach is already full. First of all, this is coming from Tata Julius Wingo. He says, Mr. Chairman, take one beer for my B if the president of the government no bring good electoral code to make them do their election them. He said, I get you 505, Mr. President. This is coming from Gibeto Ati, as he says that good afternoon to everyone. Watching you from Kigali, Rwanda. Keep the flame burning. He is a Cameroonian. He said, please, Ebe, I would like to find out from the PAP national chairman, if you are given the opportunity to rule this country for a month, what will you do? First of all, the first thing
maybe before you answer that question, while preparing this paper, I discovered that you said earlier that you admire Nelson Mandela. But militants of your party, they say you are the John Magufuli of the PAP party. If you are given the opportunity, like Gibeto says, to rule this country for 1 month, for the month of March, what will you do? And
I'm happy because the Magufuli and the Mandelas are of the same ideology, the same stand, because they are for the people. I think the first thing is to create a commission of national reconciliation, because that's the first thing.
Commission of National, you can.
The Commission of Reconciliation.
We already have enough commissions.
No.
How would the Commission of National Reconciliation? What would be the job?
The commissions are not commissions that are there to answer the aspirations of the people. The commissions are just what we call window dressing or cosmetics. What we call National Reconciliation Commission, a good national, but after what we call an inclusive dialogue. That is, we need a dialogue. The first thing is to call an inclusive dialogue, a sincere one, where everybody needs to sit and air out what he has to air out. After the outcome of such a dialogue, we create a National Reconciliation Commission that will bring all Cameroonians together. From there now we can see the way forward. Anything short of that will only just be dancing around the gallery.
This one is coming from can be Promise. He's a militant of the FNC party in the Northwest region, and he's like trying to correct you on a certain point, because he says that internal displaced Anglophones are receiving material financial assistance only from the FSNC and CPDM daily, while other political parties are completely absent, but only present in media. After CPDM, our party, the FNNC of His Excellency Issa Chuma Bakari, will fully govern Cameroon. Popular Action Party does not assist Cameroonians in any way except FSNC and CPDM.
It's a political party.
It's a listener.
I just want to answer that question.
Yeah.
A political party is not an NGO. We a political party works on the day to day. We can only partner with an NGO to carry assistance, and we have been doing that, and that's why the Aya Foundation emanated from PAP. Even when during the period of the Anglophone crisis, where I have videos here where I was carrying assistance to prisoners, but I realized that under a political platform that will not be good, because I will have obstacles. So I think what he's saying, I don't think he's faced with the reality, because the most visible NGO, we don't talk about political parties, whatever a political party do during as humanitarian assistance is more of a campaign. So that one is, we cannot call that assistance.
Okay.
The most visible NGO as far as helping Cameroonians is concerned is the Aya Foundation that emanated from PA.
Okay, we are not talking about the NGOs here. We are talking about
the political party's role is not to carry out
the role of.
It's not an NGO that goes out humanitarian, carry out and giving food to people. No,
that is his opinion.
No,
we are going to take our press review for the month, and it's been compiled for us by our own Susan and Nayonge, who did a wonderful job of compiling what has been making news. And when we come back, we are going to be looking at those contemporary issues in the press review and try to get the opinion of the Popular Action Party. Like somebody just asked the question, and because that is where we are going to begin. If you are given the opportunity to govern this country for 1 month, what are you going to do? And that is what we are going to be looking at after the press review of Susan Nayonge. Good afternoon to you, Susan.
Good afternoon, Abel. Good afternoon to the panelists and all those listening to us and watching us live on Facebook. We thank God for another month which has come to an end with us being all alive. Welcome to the second special edition of the press review for this month. We shall be reviewing the striking highlights of these 4 weeks of March 2021. We begin with the first week of March, from March 1 to March 5.
On Monday, The Guardian Post had as main headline, Riots in Bamenda, Buea, DDR centers, shame onto Anglophone CPDM barons instigating ex-Amba fighters. Another story featured, Armed conflicts in Northwest-Southwest, Human Rights Watch releases damaging report on military. The Horizon meanwhile had as main headline, Problem solving, Yuba goes for artificial intelligence. Still on this paper, a story titled, Honorable Osi justifies why he signed petition challenging U.S. Congress. In sports, the Star titled Mount Cameroon Race of Hope 2021, Ali and Kitang win France CFA 10 million each amidst jubilant crowd. On Tuesday, The Guardian Post had as main headline, As violence persists in Noa, former DO slaughtered, hundreds flee to Nigeria. Another story featured, CPDM mayor arrested over alleged embezzlement. On this same paper, a story featured, Olembe Sports Complex controversy, CPDM Central Committee member pushes for parliamentary equity. On Tuesday, The Guardian Post had as main headline, As violence persists in Noa, former DO slaughtered, hundreds flee to Nigeria. Another story featured CPDM mayor arrested over alleged embezzlement. On this same paper, a story featured Olembe Sports Complex controversy, CPDM Central Committee member pushes for parliamentary equity. On Thursday, Newswatch had a story titled Separatists Tremble as ex-Amba General vows to disarm hundreds of fighters. On Friday, Cameroon Tribune had a story, Northwest Region, Separatists hideouts destroyed in Bui. And in sports, Cameroon Tribune headlined, Football Championships, competitions continue this weekend.
During the week of March 8th to March 12th,
on the commemoration of women's rights, The Horizon on Monday had a story titled, Woman Defends PhD Thesis on Men as Victims of Gender-Based Violence. Another story featured, Women in Action Against Gender-Based Violence Trains NITOP Inhabitants. Meanwhile, La Voix des Jeunes newspaper had a story, University of Ngaoundéré, Excellence Prize Awards available. Still on this paper, another story titled, Bruda Made in Cameroon, States Support. On Tuesday, the Garden Post had as main headline, Far North, first set of Nigerian refugees voluntarily return home. Another story was titled, Minister Adum Gargum dies. Then on Thursday, Emergence Bilingual Daily had as main headline, Forestry Sector, officials of the Ministry of Wildlife accused of corruption. The Guardian Post on its part had as main headline, Eneo, our national shame. Another story featured, Northern Regions, Local Development Minister inaugurates FACOM constructed schools. On Friday, Cameroon Tribune had a story which featured, Limbe, trial of alleged children traffickers begins. The Post Weekender posed this question, will President Biya take COVID-19 vaccine like peers? Added to its main headline, West Cameroon sitting on riches, walking in poverty. Then in sports, this same Post Weekender posed a question, Morocco's refusal to host Under-17 AFCON, prejudice or fairness?
Then, in the third week of March 15th to March 19th,
on Monday, the Post had as main headline, and I quote, Secessionists are those who govern Cameroon, not us, end of quote, says Sissoko. Something which the Garden Post headlined as Sissoko tells Jeune Afrique, and I quote, we are in talks with government, end of quote. On Tuesday, Cameroon Tribune had a story titled Hate Speech, How to Combat Growing Threat. In health, a story featured Combating Coronavirus, Minat launches sensitization campaign. Mutation newspaper had as main headline, Electricity Service under thunder. Another story featured American Congress petitions, Joshua Ossie comes back engaged. On Wednesday, the Median newspaper had as main headline, after ghastly explosions in Equatorial Guinea, Biya rushes 2 ministers to Bata with assistance. Camerco launches flights to Bafoussam is another story which featured on the same paper. Meanwhile, the Gazette newspaper had a story titled, U.S. Congress, Cameroon National Assembly Palaver, there are reasons why Joshua Ossie signed the petition. Brawl over man in Yaoundé, lady bites off, swallows rival's lip is a story which the Garden Post took interest in. Another one featured, Yaoundé, 15 students arrested for alleged group sex. On Friday, the Garden Post had as main headline, Senate National Assembly, Biya maintains ailing Nyat Kavae. Another story was titled, Boosting Decentralization, Antique equips South Region mayors, council staff with ICT skills. In health, Cameroon Tribune had as main headline, Fight against coronavirus, the situation is getting stable. Hypertension, 30% cases in Cameroon linked to excessive salt consumption is a story on the Garden Post. Then in sports, Cameroon Tribune had a story, Tokyo Olympics, how Cameroon is preparing.
Also, in the week of March 22nd to March 25th, Municipal Updates newspaper had a story, Kumba, Anglophone Crisis IDPs, Vulnerable Benefit Free Health Care. Another story on the same paper featured, Exceptional Solidarity around PWD Bamenda, The Power of Unity. While The Sun had as main headline, SDF boils Ninche Dare's neck. Still on this paper, a story titled, access to UB campuses to be subjected to presentation of COVID-19 negative test results by March 26th. This was on Monday. La Voix des Jeunes had a story titled School Textbooks, Half of Production to be Done by Local Printers. That was on Tuesday. Curbing Road Accidents, Concerted Action Advocated. That was a story found on Cameroon Tribune. Emergence Bilingual Daily in Sports had a story, Cameroon vs Cape Verde, Indomitable Lions leave Douala today. That was on Wednesday. Regarding the story of the divided road between Northwest and West, Emergence Bilingual Daily titled it as Babaju Bamenda, Passengers Stranded as Roads Divide into Two. Cameroon Tribune titled it Northwest-West Regions, Traffic Resumes on Babaju Bamenda Stretch. This was on Friday. With this, we have come to the end of this special edition of the Press Review. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned and see you same time next week for another edition.
And the program is Topics and Realities. Thank you very much, Susan Nayonga. She's here with us in the studio. Thank you very much, Susie.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it was not easy compiling all the press review for the month.
It wasn't really easy, but I have my way out and I try to make it easy.
Thank you very much. And I think Mr. President of the National President of the Popular Action Party, you listen to Susan's press review. If I can ask you, what caught your attention throughout the morning?
I don't know if I really put that, but I know that it's the Joshua Usi SGF saga that has been animating debate and reappointment of Kavaye and Marcel the helm of
this appointment. There was an election.
No, I say reappointment. The reappointment of Kavaye and Masenya at the level of I think those are the two main issues that have been animating the political scene for some time now. I think that's what has always because I've made communiques in line in pertinence to that.
So what was the communique about?
Before he goes, just recently, Mr. President, you condemned Joshua Osi in a communique when he signed a letter that was forwarded to the U.S. Congress. You said Joshua Osi is the worst political blunder has done was of his political career now and tomorrow. You even went further to say that Joshua Osi should read the story of Valentine Tracy, the former president of Sierra Leone, whose political blunder as a young president has persecuted him his whole life to this very day. Today, can you still authoritatively condemn Osi's decision in signing, even when he has stated that he can still sign it if they
giving the opportunity? Yes. I think Osi is a brother. It's an elderly brother to me. I admired Osi at a point in time. I really admired Osi. I was one of those who were very shocked. Osi is not just a parliamentarian. It's not just a SDF, an ordinary SDF parliamentarian. Osi doubles as the first vice national president of that party. And Osi hails from the southwest, Njang, Toko, precisely, where that area is one of the hard-hit area of the Anglophone crisis. And Osi, of all, will pen a letter to the congressmen in the U.S. The congressmen did not address the government of Cameroon. Neither did they petition the president of the Republic of Cameroon. The letter was addressed by President Joe Biden to see how they could adjust some diplomatic errors. They should not carry out some errors that will jeopardize American diplomacy by repatriating some Africans, including the Africans we had Cameroonians in there. So don't go, especially in Cameroon, because plague with the present situation that is ongoing in the country, is this not the right moment? And the petition by the president to see how they could intervene within the immigration department to stop the continued deportation of those guys. What is wrong in that? People did not address you, neither did they address, and you people who have been unable to sit in that same parliament.
But thank God you said that not to deport some Cameroonians. And according to the letter of Joshua O.C., some of these Cameroonians are the ones that are creating the one creating problem in the northwest and southwest.
And if they were creating,
and the one that those people should come back so that they face the law of the country.
If O.C. is that's being hypocritical in his stand, because you cannot tell America if you are perpetrating disorder in your country and you attack a terrorist, you are not the one to tell America what to do with you. They have a track record of almost everybody. America is not our kangaroo country, Cameroon, where you can do whatever you want to do. They have a track record of all those guys. If they know who is who, what they stand for, they give you opportunity. Say it's a liberal country. So when I said it's a greatest political blunder, I was trying to call OC's attention. OC, you are still a young man. You are at the verge of your political career. He has an ambition. He stood in for the presidential. I mean that he has a presidential ambition. It's not a wrong thing. You made an error. Almost all political leaders commit an error. There was one guy, Desmond Elliot, who is
who faced the election in Nigeria.
No. He's presently
a member of parliament.
Member of parliament at the Lagos State.
Yes.
Yeah. He came out with a statement that really angered the youths. But later on, he recognized and cried and asked for and apologized for it. So, in a point in time, we political
and even recently, even the minister delegate at the presidency in charge of defense, yesterday in the National Assembly, he said something that angered the parliamentarians. But he realized and came and apologized.
So I expected OC to just say, well, it was an error. Maybe you people, I never meant it this way, this and that. But you see, keep on justifying, and I said, this man, you are not really that serious. So I will still say it. And I will keep on condemning, because I even condemn the decision from the neck. Maybe that decision is lame, because OC is not a type of person. OC needs to, and I love, anyway, we'll come back to that. And I love the action of Honorable Nietzsche. That's what we call a leader. A leader that has a lot of people.
Okay, yes. Hello. My name is Eba Bella Samawi on the line.
Chafon, Eric, all the way from Douala. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chaffon. We are receiving the national president of the Popular Action Party. I don't know whether you have a question for him this afternoon.
Well, thank you very much for that. It is very hot here in Douala. Douala is the seat of economic capital. A time where when it comes to rain, you and other panelists, that Douala is a very fertile land for rainfall. But since the rain has begun, we have not yet witnessed any powerful rainfall. As of now, it is very, very sunny here in Douala. It is a very shock. You must have heard that one of our reverend fathers, Father Patrick Lapon, who was the pioneer priest of the St. Peter and Paul, the Catholic Church symbol, died some few weeks ago.
Okay. Chaffon?
Hello?
We want to get your question addressed to the national president of the Popular Action Party. If you have any question, we don't have that much time. Can you go straight to your question, sir?
Now, you say the national chairman of which party?
The Popular Action Party, sir. PAP.
He is in the studio with you.
He's here with us. If you ask a question, he will listen to you.
Yeah, the first question I asked or I put to him is, Mr. President, you see, Paul Eric Kinder has been one of the main opposition leaders in Jombe Benja. He died. You, as the national chairman of the party, what can you tell Cameroonians about his demise?
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Chaffon, all the way from Douala.
Yeah.
Okay. Ahmed?
Yes, Chaffon?
Yeah, before I put that question, let me just say something just a minute, because, the strong line between Douala and Yaoundé is not really well understood. At the moment ahead or days ahead, we shall be arranging things. When you talk, I will be getting.
Okay.
And I will be calling when the matter, when the program is going on.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. We are going to do that. We are going to do that. Let the president of the Popular Action Party be able to answer to your question. Mr. President.
Very brief. Paul Rikinge may so rest in peace. I think I made a communique pertaining to his death. I really sympathize with the family, the bereaved family. It is really a shock for the entire political actors in Cameroon, including myself, because it's when one thing about Rikinge that I know personally is that when he was released, by then Justice Aya was at the Supreme Court, but Justice Aya facilitated his release, and we paid a special visit to Paul Rikinge in Douala. We even gave him an envelope as a sign of encouragement, and I want to say clearly here that Paul Rikinge was then willing to join PAP, but he told us openly that if he doesn't join PAP, because later on after our discussion we're keeping in touch, he said, if I don't join PAP, I might form my own political party. Okay. So since then, we have been when he was elected mayor, we have been coming. Even when he was made the campaign manager of Professor Kamto, we're communicating when he's here in Douala and Yaoundé, because he lives around, I think, Elisono or Etoile Mikison, I think he lives around that area. So we're always communicating. Okay. I think he's a great guy.
So he's a political friend.
No, he's a political friend and a very big loss to the entire the political family in especially for the opposition. Okay. Irrespective of his controversial stand with Professor Kamto, that I don't want to go in detail, but he remains a great guy because he really fought for his people. Okay. Yeah, we saw his regular outings. He stood for his people, and I'm sure rumors are already circulating that maybe his demise could maybe come as a result of his stance that is, because he went to prison for that.
That is rumors.
He went to prison for that.
Those
and
are
he came back and never changed his position. They said, okay, since this guy is still very stubborn, the best way for us to is to remove him from the Senate. That is. But he's a great guy. He has very consistent. That's what we're a politician.
Okay, Mr. President, you know, most Cameroonians on the streets, especially those who might be listening to us, they have this notion that instead of uniting forces so that we can, the opposition can, push this regime away, opposition parties in Cameroon spend their time fighting amongst themselves, thereby losing focus. What is your reaction on that?
The answer to that, I've had that question on several platforms.
Yes.
When you first of all identify the opposition, it's true that Cameroon has the name opposition. Yes. Mr. Chiruma will say it's opposition, of which Bello Buba of UNDP say you really call him opposition. No, we have so many leaders that today we have seen their position. Cameroonians know the real opposition. So when we talk about the oppositions are very united, because as of now, the ones I know who are true opposition, because they say by their fruit we shall know them. The Cameroonians already know who are the opposition, and within that line, those opposition leaders are really working in hand in glove. As of now, CPP and PAP very close, and we have seen their stand. We have seen their stand on regular outing declaration as far as some happenings. CPP and CRM very close. We know there's no problem there. And because there was a platform that we signed that I cannot master all of the other political parties. But I want to tell you that the major opposition parties are very, very united. The government used that as a weapon to destroy public opinion about the position, that they cannot be united. So you don't tell me that I unite with you when your position is doubting. When you have the doubting stand, I cannot unite with you, and that's why they will send in fake opposition now to go and infiltrate the genuine ones. And then when the time now comes, now that a strategic decision needs to be taken, those fake ones that are being sponsored by the government, they paralyze the genuine ones, and the whole information that Cameroonians say, opposition are not united. Opposition are very, very united. I would see very strong, CPP very strong, except other opposition that I don't know, but I believe that those are the mainstream opposition that are really animating the Cameroon, the political debate. The rest are branches, subsections of the CPDM. Do I know? The rest, to me, genuine ones are very, very united, and we have Cameroonians today can testify the real opposition. I think we Cameroonians need to really thank the genuine opposition in the country, based on the manner in which the BR regime has really destroyed the mindset of Cameroonians as far as politics is concerned. Where they have just seen politics like benefit, go there, you benefit, I eat. Most media houses have been bought over. Churches, religious leaders, bought over. traditional leaders been bought over. Institution, the government has bought over almost all the major institutions that can partner with the political institution to push things. You want to go here, almost all traditional rulers have been bought over by the regime. So the few who are still standing needs encouragement, because it is not easy, especially within the context of Cameroon.
So from that, because the debate is based on that, and the fundamental question we said we are going to ask is politics in Cameroon an enterprise to make quick money with pressure group?
Yes, it's a very good question. I think I will just continue in that same line. Politics, except we don't define what is all politics
on the Cameroon context.
Yeah, within the Cameroon.
Because we see people who say that they are members of the G20.
Yes.
We see politicians that change come for money and all the like. It's an enterprise to make quick money.
It is true.
Or we see others that will just come to talk for talking's sake. That is just like giving the pressure to the government, but we don't see an impact of those their statements.
I think change of calm.
Yeah.
You are mixing up things.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong for a political leader to cross carpet. Especially
when money change.
No, that's another issue. Now I say we are mixing two things here. Now when you change calm now based on that you have been bought over with money and you don't really adhere to that ideology, but you are just there for your interest, that's where there is a problem with you. If I can be in CPDM today, but Justice Aya was in CPDM, but he realized that the initial ideology that he embraced under CPDM, the thing started moving out of track. He left. Frundi was a former member of the CNU and a former member of CPDM. He left and joined his own because he realized that, and Kabbalah was also of the SDF. So there's nothing wrong for a political leader to change camp. Now, coming now within the context of using it to make money, then that's where there is a problem. Because at that juncture, thank God, when you do that, the population is there to judge you. Many political leaders have frustrated the aspirations of what they stood for because of money. But if it's changing camp because of money, because if today you are here and people see clearly, you no longer speak. You see the truth again, you no longer say it. Because if I change the camp and maintain my ideology, it's a different thing. But if I change camp and I start dancing to the tune of what I've been criticizing, that's where there is a problem. So we cannot generalize some individuals who call them belly politicians and we condemn and mix them up with genuine ones. And we think that politics is all about. It is true, some individuals, they take it for, they are adventurers. I know many political leaders that today, there's one of them that says let him also eat his own. This is his own time for him to eat, because one of his man from the same area was in that same position in the government. So it's his own time for him to eat.
We have somebody online. Hello?
Yeah, Mr. Bella Samari.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm fine. Who is on the line?
Yeah, I'm Apostle Adam Charlemagne.
Okay, Apostle Adam, good afternoon. It has been a while.
Yeah, so greeting to Mr. President in the studio.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to ask him two questions. Between federalism and decentralization, what is the choice of the president in the studio? And number two question, if he became today the president of the republic, what is the solution that he will bring so that there will be peace in the whole country? Because we in Far North, we are having a problem, and we can see in the East region there is problem also because of the Central Republic, and then in the Northwest and the Southwest we are having problems also.
Okay.
So can you give us some solutions? So those are my two questions.
Okay.
Let God bless you people.
Thank you very much. But maybe before you answer, we also have a voicemail coming from, he says his name is Jabte Kevin, and he also has a question for the president. Let us take the questions, at least two of them, so that when you are answering, maybe you will be able to give us more details.
Yes, Master Talk, the Honorable Mayor, Future Mayor Nwa. Good morning, good afternoon. So I want you to ask your invitees this question. Many parties has come in Cameroon. At the end, we have not seen anything. They have changed. So what are the changes he's bringing or is coming with?
Okay. Let me just answer that question and then maybe
before coming to this other one. Yeah,
I think that is a conception that Cameroonians need to come out from the box. That wrong conception. That solution to their problem must only come from political parties. Political parties always set a pace. When we say let's manifest for this, and somebody say, I beg, I'm not in that thing. I know go people arrest. I know want to do me politics. I know you go to an area, you galvanize people to pass an information. Everybody say, no, I cannot come there. I'm afraid they'll arrest me. So you see, Cameroonians themselves, they are complaining, but they don't want change. We created a manifestation that let them come out. Like what is happening? It's a constitutional right for citizens to come out and denounce what bad governance. And what the role of a political party is that what they are like eye opener to that population. They open their eyes for them to see that bad governance, and then we lead the pace. When we led the pace here in 22nd of September, my party was the first to lead it. We marched through the whole of Santa Barbara, that area like that, before police could come. People were only looking at us like that, and other people were not calling the police. That some people are already manifesting. You see the mentality that people have. So people should not solutions. There's no way solutions have ever come from political party. Only come out with proposals and an agenda for people to follow. What is the press doing? The press has a role. What is the syndicates? Today, syndicates say they will strike tomorrow. They give them money. They keep quiet. They only attack the political leader. The continuous high prices are increasing on daily basis. What are syndicates doing? Political leaders will speak. The syndicates will keep quiet. Civil society, NGOs, everything has been bought up. Everything is pro-government. So I think what my brother said, I agree with him. We only said and that's why I am here. We keep on communicating. Today, my Secretary General is in the up north, carrying out sensitization campaign and trying to conscientize the people there for the need for them to see how they could adhere to our political ideology. Let's keep the country booming. But you see, everybody is only removing. Everybody's only keeping itself behind and saying no, it's for politicians.
Is it because of the policy for the stomach?
No, it's not a policy. It is a wrong conception that Cameroonians, the regime has implanted in the minds of Cameroonians to feel that the politicians have been tagged as if they are like the ones that hate the country, and they have created in Cameroonian in their mind in such a way that nothing good can come from politicians, and they have made people, they have seized the right of the people. That is, people don't even know that this is your right. When you go there and tell, it is your right to do it. No, I'm not doing it. You tell somebody it's your right to do, but you complain every day. Every day you complain. They embezzle money in the stadium here. People could not even. In Nigeria, you saw what celebrities did to end police brutality. No, not politicians. The celebrities came out and said, we end this. In Cameroon here, what are the celebrities doing? Everybody folds his hand and everybody's only eating fat. So it is a combined effort. I tell my brother it's a combined effort. Coming now, we are federalists. I want to answer that man that called. We are for federation. We are federalists and we still stand for federation, and we have been doing everything to bring. Even that's why the government needs to really call me in particular and talk with me, because I've been doing my best using my only two means to see how I could calm down. It's not by media where people you take huge commissions to go and say they're meeting the guys and so on. I communicate with them, and truly most of those separatists and those who are still believing in decentralization or centralists, I call them, are gradually adhering to the ideologies of the PAP. And then he asked another question of if I'm taking, what am I going to do? I said the country needs a genuine dialogue. It is because the dialogue that Mr. Biya called was a monologue, was a one-man show that suit to his whims and caprices. A genuine dialogue means you don't limit, everybody comes. So it's a genuine dialogue, because most of the multiple crises that are plaguing our country is political frustration. When people are frustrated here, you start seeing arms group coming from nowhere. When you have a leader who has become the unmoved mover, he moves, everybody is moving, he doesn't move, he's sitting on the same spot. We can barely see him moving. Even when he was still very young and agile, he doesn't move. He doesn't move. He doesn't even know what is happening in his country. Even at the Olembe is just here. The stadium is just here, some few meters from his house. It is the CAF president that went and came and told him in Yaoundé that stadium is not completed. But it's just a few meters from his house. So those are some of the issues. So we need a dynamic political terrain where people will come in and so forth. So that my brother, that man that called from the north, it is a genuine dialogue. After that, we are going to create what we call a genuine commission of national reconciliation that will bring everybody on board and will refix and revamp this country, which has been drained by the regime of Biya and Aiju.
A question coming from in South Africa. That's he's my classmate in JHS Limbe, and just to announce that I have a bouncing baby girl that came into my family this morning. Thank you, brother. He said it that he's an ex-student of JHS Limbe, Etienne Menjo.
Okay, Mr. President.
Etienne Menjo. The name's
Maneneng. That is the name there.
Just to know from you, this month there was this issue of electricity. I don't know whether it affected you.
Yes.
Blackout.
It is terrible.
So, what is your take on that?
Yes, it is in line with what I was just saying. You see somebody. There was one time we are blessed. Cameroon is richly blessed as far as dams are concerned. It goes in line with bad governance. That is why the PAP. That's why the solution. When you ask me that, why would I say a sitting president should resign? It is I am a citizen of this country. It's my legitimate right to tell a president to resign if he cannot live up to expectation. 38 years in power.
Do you think that we have the culture of resignations in Cameroon?
And that is it. But there must always be a change of culture, a change of mentality. The days of apartheid. Not everybody, not all the blacks adhere to Mandela's ideology or the ideology of the ANC. Many people attacked the ANC, but he stood his ground, and later on people came to realize that this man was. There were many of such who were against the same people that stood against apartheid. I mean blacks that stood against those who were standing against apartheid. Since they were attacked terrorists and all like, even the international community labeled Mandela as a terrorist, like what the BI is calling Anglophones today. So what I'm trying to say is that this is a country that we have the mention for. Let us not talk about the Metro 4 because the development of the North and Southwest has never been the agenda. Let us talk about the so-called Lompanga. That's Lompanga. I knew that was a project that Mr. Biya campaigned for in 2011. He said his first mandate, Cameroon will be electrified right to your kitchen, and he started his so-called Lompanga project, Menvele. But right up to date, Cameroon is getting, things are getting worse by day. It's the same question I ask myself. The whole of yesterday, I even doubt if they're even listening to, because I gave them the frequency in my house that they should listen to. I doubt if I will go there, they think that the only answer they will tell me that we never have light. Because we have had, I just live here at Fujiro. There are days without light in Yaoundé. And Cameroonians are complaining like you. We are sensitizing and conscientizing Cameroonians that it is your right to tell this man to step down and let us fix the country.
Do you think that
is it only water? Are we
stepping down will solve the problem?
Yes, because new ideologies will come and there will be solution. They will program. We'll put the program. Magufuli, there are leaders that came. They are used by just one mandate to resolve issues of electricity. Cameroon is blessed. We have so many dams. It's not as if Nigeria is having such problem because they don't have those dams that can really. But in Cameroon, we have so many dams, so many that can produce like. There was one time that an individual wanted to revamp the Yoke Dam in Muyuka. The Cameroon government refused to revamp it and said no, he wants to use his money and see how he could revamp that and for electricity to be supplied as in the days of West Cameroon. The government refused. So you see that it's a systematic failure. Should we talk about Kameko? You talk about electricity. Is it water that people have water in their houses? So the water sector, the health sector, the transport. Every day can't talk about road accidents. So that's so mad. When somebody asks me that word, that's why you see I am even short of words, because if I start listing the damage that Biya has damaged Cameroon for the past 38 years, it is enormous. And that's why I use the word we need to reconcile each other, because every sector is touched. Every sector. Not only touched, destroyed. So we need to revamp. So we cannot focus here on light. Water is there, health, sports infrastructure, everything. So there's a problem.
Maybe with the health, let's talk about the coronavirus and the way the government is being managed. Cameroonians don't respect the barrier.
No, the government itself is not being sincere to that disease. I'm one of those that feel that the government is politicizing. Because when you yourself, you are not even first of all sincere to your population. Whatever comes from you, they doubt. The government, yes, that is it. That's it. The government. When the corona pandemic broke out, we saw concrete and visible measures that countries took. Like, let us not even go right to Europe. I mean, just neighboring countries. We saw measures they took, closed down schools, areas, restaurants, and
we also closed down schools. We also closed down restaurants.
And they used accompanying measures. You saw that the government really invested to accompany.
We have that accompanying measures in Cameroon.
That is where I am saying that I was shocked that during our own period, all those things were done, no accompanying measures. Even transporters pleaded that just at least reduce even 5 francs so that we can at least respect. So you can't ask people to close down what, and then there's no accompanying measure. And then later on, we don't know what happened. The head of state himself, every day, they say leaders lead by example. They say, no, we have never seen him with a mask. When you people just imagine that a layman who you are telling him about COVID-19, forget about those of us who are conscious. Not a layman, when you look at the layman who watches the TV and sees his president every day with no nose mask. He has never showed example of washing his hand. And he's telling people that don't respect those barrier measures, put on nose mask and so forth. How will that layman say, no, but President, you talk that, don't put that with nose mask.
But he has minister that he sends them with COVID materials.
The same gold minister, COVID-19 came during the period, that was in 2020 now.
Yeah.
Elections took place. Twin elections took place. Council elections, the other one they call the election of regional elections took place. People were gathered. The people went down to campaign. So you see that the government is playing double standard. You say you don't want something. Of recent, they are cancelling concerts. But of recent, we saw foreign musicians came gathered. I don't want to call names here. Foreign musicians came here. Even there were some local musicians that gathered the population. The people, it was jam full. We played the Nation Cup here. I saw a minister, the prime minister went to Douala and encouraged people to go to the stadium. There was no corona. Just all of a sudden, they are now coming back and telling us that, so the government itself is not even sincere with their communication. They target here. They look at the markets. Go to restaurants. Go to bars where there is no control. Their target is always school, churches. In church, they can even control because they listen to a pastor or the priest. The priest can even tell people what to do. In school, the principal can implement measures. But you look at area they have to target. Who is controlling who in market? Who is controlling who in the bar? Nightclubs are still damn full. They don't target there. I learned the minister of territorial was rather targeting that any church that. Look at the markets. Those are areas where you have not. What are the measures have you used in restaurants and bars, nightclubs, and all that? Those are the areas where we could easily contact such things. So the government is from the onset.
Expect the government to close down the market or put?
No, I am not saying that they shouldn't close down.
Hand sanitizer, washing hand basin in every market.
I am in line because when this corona pandemic broke out, PAP was one of the first political parties to go to the field. I'm sure it was seen all over the media. So media houses took it and so forth. We went and sensitized the population and distributed hand sanitizer.
Nidina in Limbe.
Yeah, Limbe, Douala, and she went to Bafoussam also. So the government is responsible for the non-application of those measures because they themselves are not sincere.
Okay.
Today they say this, tomorrow they are practicing something else. So that is it. So the corona issue has become a politicized something where I learned some people have even gone as far as saying that they are using it to settle political rivalry. Now people are even afraid to go to the hospital because I can say authoritatively yes that if I am sick I can't go to any government hospital because I know the outcome. They will use it, and tomorrow they will tell me that I was.
So
I died of corona COVID-19. That's it. That's a new.
So you want to tell us that you don't have confidence?
No confidence. I'm telling you, no confidence.
Mr. President, when we started this discussion, you really said education was one of your passion.
Yes.
And you are equally in the field.
Yes.
You equally have an institution.
Yes, educational institution. Yeah, that I run. Yeah.
And of recent, we have seen this problem of immorality in school.
Yes.
So, how are you handling it in your institution, and what is your take concerning what has been happening with the recent videos that are going?
Sex and violence in our school. Who is supposed to be blamed?
It is really alarming. I went to I was brought up in an Anglo-Saxon system.
Yeah.
Yes, and I knew the education that we got from our homes. It's two-way. I won't blame the government, and I can tell you that the highest blame go to parents. Yes, parents. Yes, 80% or 70% of the blame go to parents. Especially, I am of the educational field, and let me be very sincere. Especially our parents of the French, the east of the Mongo. That is it. I know I am in school where a parent, on several occasions, they have come to fight with a woman is coming prepared to come and fight the discipline master for punishing the child without even asking. What impression? And today there's no control. I visited a house. I was shocked. The mother and the daughter, they were enjoying one what you call novella, or the one series that was promoting lesbianism. A boy would be behaving like a girl and making all sorts of things. I was sitting, and the woman was even telling the daughter to explain her more about that movie. Instead of, a young girl, that child was about Form 1 or Form 2 like that. And I said, but instead of you shouting and asking that, change that nonsense. Because it was like, what image are you giving? And it is the same everywhere. Where there's so much relaxed. We have our parents, the parents, especially of the east of the Mongo, a type of education and the perverse notion that they give to their children, especially the girl, gives them such opportunity to. That's why if you look at keenly, you will realize you can really see that such things hardly occur in the English-speaking zones, especially with the English school, because of the strictness of our parents. I bet you that there was one time that we committed a crime and they asked us to go and bring our father. When he came, he gave us the real beating of the day in front of the lines, back him up for doing this. And tomorrow, you yourself, you are very, very conscious that, but when you have backing, today you commit this crime, you have backing from your parents, they want to come and attack the school for why do you have to, and you see some of them, their children leave their houses during the Saturday classes, where maybe we give room for people to come with assorted dresses. You see what these children wear. I even in my PTA meeting, I always raise that alarm. Do you see what your child wear? You, this mother, your child of Form 3 who put on funnies, the breast is out. Some of the things, so those little things that we neglect always lead to some of those aspects where our moral.
One is the way forward.
The way forward is our educational system need to be revamped, where they need to intensify moral education. In those days we call moral education religious studies. It's true that the Anglo-Saxons, they are using it as part of there was a name ECL, education for Christian living, and you are growing up with that aspect of God fearing, because the Bible, everything they are teaching you religious studies. So right from the primary, you are already learning some of the dangers of those things. And then now the French system, they are rejecting it. Religious studies should be intensified and taught in both sections, because
we are in a secular state. It is not. We have many religions.
In religious studies, it is diverse. When you go there, there's Islam, there is other religious African traditional.
In the school, meaning that we group the Muslim people.
Yeah, we can bring it under the concept of called moral education. That moral education that has to do with, because the Anglo-Saxon, it is fully implemented in their curriculum. It is the French section that I doubt if they are really implementing it. I think we need to really revamp our education system, and parents need to take over.
We are almost moving out of time. I don't know. Do you have any last question for your section before I move over to Susan? But I have with your permission, I have an SMS here. Is coming from Jean Paul. It's in French. I will try. He say, merci beaucoup mon président. Comment pour être fait membre de ton parti? That is coming. He's writing from a So
don't worry, you have my contact.
Okay.
The presenter will give you my contact, and whenever you want to adhere to our party, you will get to me.
Okay.
And then you have your party card and whatever gadget that you need. You just have a party card and register. That's all.
Okay.
Mr. President, Cameroonians too. I had the opportunity to talk with some Cameroonians back in the rural areas, where they say, political parties, they come out and make a lot of noise, but when they get to power, they forget about the promises. Are you really sure that if a PAP is given an opportunity to take the leadership of this country, you will not also have the problem of bad roads, electricity, and any other health problems that are happening now?
Yes, that is what many people always feel, that when you come to power, political leaders, when they come to power, people always like to take wrong examples. Why can't those people also see what the Magufuli have done? Why can't also people see what Mamadou Tanja of Niger, here with the French, what he has done? Why are people not looking at those leaders that respected their promises? They are only looking at those ones that violated some of their I think we try to balance. PAP is one of those political parties that will never, because if we wanted to be, when a political party that is already working at the level of being compromised, everybody will judge, because we have, that why I say we have been very, very consistent, because at this juncture that we have played with the challenges that we are facing today, that even those die-hard opposition are already being compromised and we are still standing, it's already a message telling Cameroonians that if these guys could withstand this moment of trauma, these guys could withstand this moment of this great challenge, and they are still themselves. Meaning that if they are given this opportunity, I bet you they will do exploit, because they need 2 resources, nobody. And if they could sacrifice like this, mean that if they will be given such opportunity, they are going to do something better. Okay. So I want to Cameroonians should judge people based on what they are ready to produce. So without looking at those, it is true that there are few, but we shouldn't look at those few that violated their promises and later on changed. We shouldn't look at that. Let's look at all the good ones.
Okay, President.
Yes, there are many good ones.
One last question,
yes,
Mr. President.
Yes.
Hate speech. What is your take on that?
Hate speech in Cameroon?
Yeah, hate speech in Cameroon. It is the tool from the regime. Yes, the
really?
The regime uses, because when you propagate hate speech and if you are singing the song of the regime, you are the best. Because I know of so many guys who are the real people propagating hate speech. I mean, I know of a television house that's being sponsored and they organize debate and insult.
Okay.
And they call Anglophone rats. Nothing was done.
Thank you.
We know of so many CPDM guys who are campaigning for CPDM. They insult and say graphene must go and so forth. They are there. There was one chief that even insulted all people from the entire Northwest, and he was even uploaded by the Prime Minister himself without being cautioned. So but the hate speech is being perpetrated.
But the bilingualism committee is working so hard.
No, but the bilingualism committee, the head of that committee is the #1 hate speech perpetrator.
Okay, thank you very much.
The most xenophobic person, the xenophobic personality we have in this country.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I say it, and I have proofs.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you, Etienne Menjo. Let me welcome Susan Nayonga, President. We are going to be looking at all that you have said in this program since we came here. And if there's anything you think you can adjust, you will try to adjust so that we get the points correctly. So that popular opinions will not say that you said this. Meanwhile, this is what we were supposed to have. Susan, once again, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Eben.
Yes. What are the major points the President has highlighted in his stay here at Royal FM?
Some of the major points retained is that the PAP party is the most consistent party in terms of opposition. Mm-hmm. And you talked of the fact that the legality is not the same as legitimacy, that is when it comes to the regime.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you talked of when it comes to the issue of the petition signing by Joshua Osei to the US Congress. You mentioned the fact that Joshua Osei himself is being hypocritical from his actions. You also talked of the fact that political parties should be the ones to set the pace. They shouldn't be just the those who are around to like mix up people's minds. They should be the ones to set the pace. They should be the eye openers to the society. And you also insisted, you really hammered on this one, that the country has made Cameroonians to have a different perception of politicians. That is, from all the actions they are carrying out, we don't see exactly what is to be done by political parties. And as some of the solutions, you mentioned that the country needs a genuine dialogue to sit people down.
To Reconciliation Commission.
And concerning the coronavirus situation, the government is not sincere enough in their communication. And yes, and the other aspect on political parties, the regime, for example, being the way they are and the influence they have given on Cameroonians, you are like, why is it that people are only focusing on those negative aspects? Can't they see that if maybe a new political party has to come up, they will actually be able to respect their promises?
Okay. I think that's all.
Yes, that's all.
Thank you very much.
Mainly the things.
Do you adhere to what she said? Is that what you said?
Yeah, even though some of those points, anyway.
I was just giving the main highlights. I didn't really go in detail.
Some issues that, but I think she tried.
Okay.
She tried. I think I raised, especially on the aspect of, I said, the government is not sincere at the approach of the coronavirus issue. That they are not sincere in their communication and their actions. So they are not sincere, and since they are illegitimate, the people have lost confidence in them already. And I talk about, you not talk about the hate speech, you talk about hate speech, and I said the hate speech is said is the government tool.
The regime is that one propagating the hate speech
to satisfy their own
okay.
and capital.
The last question I will ask you before we depart, and I keep it
Not
this
the last
moment.
question.
No, I'm the one to ask the last question. The last question because of time. The slogan of your party is the people's first. In 2 seconds, what does that mean?
The people's first, because without the people we are nothing. So everything that we do is to satisfy the aspirations of the people.
Thank you very much, Mr. Njang Denis. It was a pleasure being with you this afternoon on the last Saturday of the month.
Thank you very much.
See you sometimes. We wish you the best in your political career.
Thank you. I'm always
continue
available.
to have the Cameroonian people first in your mind.
Thank you very much. I'm so pleased. Thanks for all the questioning, and thank you all the journalists for having me and anchoring me. It's been a wonderful time. Thank you.
Menjo, the research continue.
The research continue, and we are really
going to be having you here next month.
Yes, we have, and of course, I'm very grateful with the president, Mr. Njang Denis, for making it today. You know, it's been a very lovely discussion, and I believe that since he's present and has opted his readiness to be part of the whatever will come, I know he will be there.
I hope we will continue to dig for us to have wonderful guests. Thank you, Susan Nayonge. We're always there every Saturday. With the program Topics and Reality.
Indeed.
And to also see you. We are now welcome Jean-Marie Anaba, who is here with me in the studio. Good afternoon to you, Jean-Marie.
Good afternoon, Ebel Bella Samari. Good afternoon to your guests. Good afternoon to our listeners. Je suis debout.